Lola's Canvas is a billion-dollar self-care brand. Lola's Canvas. My life has changed, my finances has changed, and Lola's Canvas is a billion-dollar brand. Know that as you declare a thing, so shall it be.
Am I really that much? And breaking these niggas down like a camel. You don't really know you are.
Hey guys, welcome back. So I am going to try to tell this story from the beginning, and I'm going to break it up in parts. So this is going to be a series, guys. Just being obedient to the Lord. So if you don't know, I am Makayla. I am the owner and founder of Lola's Canvas. In 2021, I began to battle depression really, really badly. But the only thing about it was, if you saw me, just walking in the store or something, you would never know that I was battling depression. I was very high functioning in my depression. So I was battling depression severely, and I do not know why, but as Black women, we feel like if we change something about ourselves, that everything just gonna change. Our whole life about to be different. If we just change this one thing, our whole life is about to be different. And so for me, I said that I'm about to cut my hair off and I'm about to get a perm again. I'm about to go pixie style, looking sexy, looking grown. I'm about to get a perm, okay? And I just thought that was gonna magically fix what I was dealing with. It was gonna magically fix how I was feeling, and I was just gonna be this new creature, right? Girl, no, didn't work like that. Got the perm. It was the hairstyle was very, very cute, but what I noticed is that my hair was on fire. I asked the stylist about it. We text back and forth or whatever. She said, "Oh, that's normal. You haven't had a perm." At that time, I hadn't had a perm in about probably 5 years. So you haven't had a perm in 5 years. It's normal for you to have some scalp irritation or whatever. And I just kind of said, okay. So another day passed. I'm still, at this point, y'all, I'm having to put like shea butter or something on my scalp because it's on fire. And I'm still, trying to keep contact with her every couple of days or whatever, just to tell her like, hey, it wasn't a couple of days. It was probably, for the most part, we talked for the next 3 days. So I was just telling her, my head's still hurting. It's on fire. I don't really know what to do. Can I come in and let you look at my scalp or whatever? She didn't text back that day. This is day 2 of the natural hairstyle, the perm. It's really nice hairstyle. I really, really like it. I love the style. I was in love with the style, but my hair was on fire. And what I noticed is my hair started to shed more. When you get those cute little pixie cut styles, you have to kind of keep them up to date. So I would try to keep mine looking fresh, even though this is my first time, so I'm kind of learning new things about it. And so I just noticed my hair would shed a little bit more than normal. And so this is now we're on day 3. She didn't text me back when I asked if she could look at my scalp. She didn't text me back. Day 3, I wake up, my hair is on the pillow. In the top, not here, but in the top, like this part, where the bald spots were, hair was on my pillow like in chunks. And I was like, oh my God. So I'm texting her, I'm freaking out. Mind you, she is not responding. And then I just keep texting her, and eventually I was blocked. I was like, oh my God. Eventually I was blocked. I'm blocked with my head is on fire. My hair is on the pillow. I'm looking in the mirror. All I see is bald spots in the back. I still had hair here, but I had bald spots here. And yeah, I don't know if maybe she didn't wash the perm out completely. I just don't know. I'm not sure. For one, I'm not a hairstylist. And for two, I wasn't sure. So now I am asking other stylists, like, hey, could I come in for an appointment? This is what's going on with my hair. I'm showing them the pictures and everything, and they all say no. I asked about 6 different hairstylists in my town. They all said no. They don't specialize in scalp health. They don't specialize in scalp conditions, so they would not be able to help me. And I had one stylist. She said she couldn't help me, but that I should go to the dermatologist. I went to the dermatologist, made an appointment, went to the dermatologist. Because at this point, I'm thinking maybe it was something I did, or maybe I have a fungus in my scalp or something, because it just kind of happened so rapidly. I'm not necessarily associating my scalp being on fire with burns at this moment. It's just my first time going through all of this, right? So here we go. I go to the dermatologist, show her what's going on. I tell her the backstory, what happened. She examines it and she's like, okay, you have chemical burns. Those spots, they're very inflamed, very red. You have chemical burns to your scalp. I said, oh my God, okay. And she just basically explained to me, like, hey, this is a burn. Just like if you burn your arm, how it's a burn. Nothing, you know, it kind of forms this black overlay over it. She just explains it's pretty much the same thing. This just happened from chemical products, and it burned my scalp to the point where now I was burned, bald spots, and she told me the hair is not going to go back in those spots because it is severely burned. She did give me some ointment. It was just a prescription. I honestly just think it was just a kind of a higher dose of Neosporin, and that helped soothe the burns, but it was not going to help me grow my hair back. And I was devastated. At this point, I am wearing wigs on top of my hair because I mean, hello, I still trying to take care of my children. I'm still, well, my son at the time, I only had one child at the time, but I'm still trying to take care of my son. I still have to work, so I am covering up what's really going on behind closed doors, and it was devastating. And then for this stylist that did this to me, for her to ghost me, it hurted my feelings more than anything, because I trusted you. You know, I trusted you. I asked so many questions before I just cut my hair off. I asked so many questions. Oh, I've done this a million times. This is what I do. I'm an OG stylist. You know, all that Rudy and Rah-Rah. Yeah, I'm an OG stylist. I'm like, okay, I trusted her. And for you to ghost me, I mean, even if she couldn't help me, she could have at least said, hey, let me at least look at it, and then I can refer you to a dermatologist, or I can give you some steps on what to take, whatever, because you're an OG stylist, right, girl? So in that moment, I'm wearing these wigs, I'm covering this up, I don't really know what to do, kind of just taking it day at a time. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I was mad, and I was screaming at God. I was mad. And I just had a big kid temper tantrum. I was so upset. I'm like, why is nothing going right in my life? You see me battling depression. You see me feeling like this. You see me trying to go through things. Mind you, we get mad at God, but it's our own actions because we have free will. It was my own actions that landed me in that spot. I already know, child. But I was like, God, why am I having to go through all of this? Why am I having to go through so much? I just kind of was like, I'm tired of this. Now on top of this, I got to deal with, I feel like I was going to have to deal with this shame all of my life, thinking my hair is never going to go back. I'm going to now always be bald. I'm going to always have these bald spots. I said, I'm probably going to have to shave my head because I'm in this, like, what? Like, I'm tired of this. And I kid you not, as I am yelling at the sky, mad at God, because for one, I was in my car and I was yelling. And I was very much upset. I was throwing things in the car like a psychopath. Yes, I was throwing things. And I kid you not, I heard God say, go back to your roots. And I took that literally and figuratively, because in that moment when he said that, and I know I talk about God a lot on this channel, and one thing I want to tell you guys is that, you know, when the Holy Spirit drops something on you, it's almost like a knowledge, it's a knowing. And in that moment, he dropped like a flashback in my spirit of my grandmother in her garden, and she would plant things. She would plant different things, but not only that, not only would she plant different things, she would plant different things for her hair. And she would kind of what we do, what I do in my company with our process, our Ayurvedic process, infusing herbs into oil for 2 weeks. She did this. I remember her doing this, and in that moment, I had a I had this knowing of going back to my roots of what she used to do and how she used to do it. Because, funny story, this is not funny, because if she was here, she'd be like, girl, the child, it ain't funny. But funny story, kind of like a backstory of my grandmother Lola. When she was younger, I'm not sure exactly how old she was, but when she was younger, her and her younger sister were in the kitchen at her mother's house. And she said that they were playing, and she said she don't necessarily know how it happened, but her hair caught on fire. When they were playing, her hair caught on fire, and she ended up losing her hair, having bald spots. Mind you, this is almost similar to the same thing I was going through. And in the midst of her, this is her telling me these stories, in the midst of her having those bald spots, going through that, she spent years planting different herbs in her garden, using them, getting oil from her local store, and infusing the herbs with the oil and creating her own oil. And so now time is repeating itself, because my grandmother Lola, my grandparents didn't have formal education. You know, they weren't the smartest in the room. She was the most amazing person, but she didn't I'm pretty sure she didn't understand how to start a business, that this was God literally giving her a business idea. I'm pretty sure she couldn't, you know, put two and two together at the time. She just was trying to save her own hair and, you know, go from there. But as God was ministering to me, he was like, the time has come for you to pick up the baton. Like literally, I'm literally picking up what she dropped. She didn't necessarily drop it. She just didn't have the knowledge of it. She didn't have the knowledge to do these things. And it's okay. But see, it came back around almost the exact same way. She dealt with burns in her hair. I'm dealing with burns in my hair. So it's a full-fledged now. It's all back around. Now, she didn't pick it up and start the business and create generational wealth for her family. But in this moment, God gave me everything that I needed to start this business. And it's him ministering to me in my car that day was a surreal moment, that it is time now. Pick up the baton, create this business, do what I am telling you to do. And it kind of just, it was like a epiphany type of moment, like, oh my gosh. And I was just like, wow, you know, I couldn't believe that basically everything was coming back full circle. Even me not even being born or even thought of at the time when this happened to her, for it to turn around and kind of similarly happen to me blew my mind. And for those that don't know, I'm a registered nurse, and I also have my degree in chemistry. But in this time, my grandmother was, you know, she was an honest woman. She was an amazing woman. But, you know, she planted the herbs in her garden and infused them with the oil that she got from her local store. I don't remember what kind of oil it was. I don't know. I don't even think she told me. She just said oil. But I was able to going back to my roots, literally and figuratively, not just being a kitchen chemist, but taking my actual degree in chemistry, my background in these things, doing such deep research on what herbs are good for hair growth, what oils are good for hair growth but won't weigh the hair down, you know, et cetera, and actually doing my research on that and developing the Bloom serum was one of the proudest moments that I had. Even though no one was there but me and God, it was one of the proudest moments that I had, because I was like, oh my gosh, I did it. I created this product, and I used the product religiously every day. It never weighed and my hair began to grow back. In those bald spots I had, my hair began to grow back. You guys can see my hair now, but this was a couple of years ago. My hair began to grow back, and it was just like, oh my gosh, because actually I must take a couple steps back. In the midst of me shouting at God, being mad at God, I had used pretty much every oil that I could buy at Walmart, and nothing would grow my hair back in those spots. Nothing. I used every oil on the shelf. I used the Mael oil. I used some Blue Magic grease. I used some of everything, and nothing worked. And I was like, what is going on? But mind you, God was trying to get me to go back to, I'm trying to show you something, give you something. Will you just listen to me? Hearken to my voice. Would you just listen for 5 minutes and stop crying, girl? And I had to take that moment and really like, wow. I created this product, my hair began to grow back. I was like taken aback. My hair began to grow back, thicker, longer. And I was like, wow, oh my gosh. And it just was like, wow. And the fact that I was able to kind of go through something similar to my grandmother, and now God said, I will give you the power to get wealth. Now have this avenue to generate wealth for my family was surreal to me. It honestly was. It was so real to me. But back in 2022, when all of this kind of came into fruition, and I began to, my hair began to grow back, I didn't start the business right away. I did not start the business right away, because I had started, because see, the enemy knows. The enemy is there watching. He's seeking. He's seeing who he can devour. He knows. So I didn't start the business right away. My business You know, I tested it for months and months and months, but I never started my business. I didn't start my business right away because life started lifing, right? My hair is a mess, child. Life started lifing. I got pregnant again, became a single mother again. And, you know, I found being pregnant, me and my son needing a place to stay. And this is actually a whole nother story, a whole nother testimony, but everything kind of ties in, and I may tell that story another time. But I needed a place to stay, and God blessed me with a brand new home. I'm talking about new build, fresh build, brand new home. And in my mind, because of the nature, the culture of that most black women come from is you got to work, pay your bills. And I felt like God has given me such a big blessing, this home. I felt like that, okay, God, I got to be responsible now. Not that I've never been responsible, because I have, but this is a different level of responsibility because I am the sole provider of my children. I have to make sure we have a roof over our head always, so I cannot be playing Russian roulette with my finances trying to start a business. Because if you know business, it takes money to start a business. Point blank and period, it takes money to start a business. And so I set my business idea down because I felt like, well, God has blessed me with this house, so I need to be able to pay the bills for me and my kids. So I'm not going to be able to, because at this time I was working as an RN in the clinic, but I was living paycheck to paycheck just to pay for this house. And at the end of each month, I would have about $150 left. Sometimes not even that. Sometimes it would be $70. It just depended. But, you know, we were living paycheck to paycheck. So in my mind, it's like, how can I live paycheck to paycheck and start a business? It's just not going to work like that. I didn't have money for a lot of different things. I didn't have money for supplies. I just didn't have it. And so I'm thinking I'm being a good steward over what God is blessing me with. He blessed me with this house. I'm being a good steward over it, right? So I didn't pay my bills. So I'm not going to start a business. No. I'm not starting a business. I'm going to be a good steward over this house. I'm going to pay these bills. I'm going to work and take care of my children. And fun fact, I purchased this home. I closed on this home September 28, 2022. And the same day, later that night, I gave birth to my second child, December 28, 2022. All in one day. And, you know, even miracles was happening in that part of my life as well. But I just wanted to be a good steward, so I didn't start the business. I laid on it. I did not start it. And that happened in September. I decided not to start the business because I was, you know, got the house, whatever. November. Let me tell you guys something. When God is going to confirm something to you, first he's going to tell you. He's going to see if you're going to act on it, and then he's going to send confirmation. Out of the mouth of two or three, let every word of the Lord be established, right? November 2022, I watched a video on YouTube, Prophet Productions, Prophet Parham. I commented on one of her videos. We began to talk. She called me on FaceTime, and she said, you know, I have the instructions to release the word of the Lord. God, it honestly blows my mind, because I didn't know her from nobody. She's from a whole nother state. We don't know each other. But God said that I have a word for my daughter, and I will get it to her by any means necessary. And so in that moment, Prophet Parham asked me, she said, what is it that you do? I said, well, I'm a registered nurse. She said, no. God never called you to be a registered nurse. He allowed it, but he never called you to be a registered nurse. He is calling you to entrepreneurship. And that blew my mind, because it confirmed that I'm not crazy. I hear the voice of the Lord. I'm not crazy. And to step out by faith and start this business. That happened in December 2022. Actually, November. That happened November 12th, 2022. I'm going to put like a little thing up on the screen. I created a website. I created labels. I bought some. I made 20 products. I started off with 3, and I made 20 of each. So I made 20 of the hair butter, 20 of the oil, and 20 of the deep conditioner. I made 20 of those to start to sell. I created my website. I created labels, and I launched this business January 24th, 2023. And I felt such an accomplishment. But the crazy thing is, I launched the business January 2023, but I did not put the Bloom Serum out because of rejection. I seen so many people selling hair growth oils, and I didn't want to be another, oh, it's just somebody said it. No, I knew God gave me this. I knew what God said. But mind you, I'm still battling depression. I'm still battling oppression. I'm still battling rejection. And rejection in business is real because everything is attached. Everything in your life works out for the good of the Lord, but everything is attached. So when I dealt with rejection, it spilled over to my business. And stay tuned for part 3 of this, because I am going to talk about rejection in business and how everything kind of panned out, because my business was not successful starting out. Even though God said, I called you to be an entrepreneur, and it's kind of flabbergasted because He called me to be an entrepreneur, yet my business is not successful when I launch it. From the human mind, it's like, well, God couldn't have said that, but He did. So what now? And I'm gonna talk about that in part 3, just my rejection in business. I didn't put the bloom serum out when I first had it. I was still using it every day, but I never put it out on the market. The oil that I put out with these products was a sealing oil. And it's just something to sealing moisture and everything. But it was not a hair growth oil. And it just kind of was like, man, the fact that I'm dealing with rejection and now it's creeping over into my business, that messed with me a little bit. That bothered me a little bit. And, you know, y'all, when I started this business, another reason, because I've dealt with rejection all my life, so another reason is, even when I had the idea, I had the products, I would show people around me that were close to me, my hair is growing back, like, look, my hair is growing back. Remember when I was bald head, scallywag, girl, my hair is growing back. And I remember plain this day, somebody very, very close to me, I was telling her I was going to start this business, somebody very, very close to me, I'm telling her this, and she's like, no one's going to buy this. No one's gonna buy this. You have a house and children to take care of. You need to focus on that. And I just, kind of like, okay. But mind you, I've dealt with rejection all of my life, so that stayed with me. I came into agreement with it, and I should not have. And it plagued me for a while. So I didn't even put the bloom serum out. But everything works out for the good of those that love the Lord. I will keep on saying that. And when I purchased the house and I decided I'm not going to do this, what I did not, we look at things as being a blessing, but God's kind of funny. God's kind of funny because my house, yes, my blessing, one of the biggest blessings I've ever received, my house, getting this house. And one thing that I realized was that it was more than a house. God was sending me into an isolated wilderness season where I was not going to be around family 24/7, because your family is kind of your comfort zone, your safety net, but it's also your biggest downfall, because they will hold you back in ways that it's just like God is like, just like Abraham. God told Abraham, leave the land of your father and go to the land in which I give you. And that is what God was trying to do for me. Go into this land in which I am trying to give you, that's formed with milk and honey, meaning into entrepreneurship, into generational wealth. Go into this land. And my family was one of the biggest setbacks for me. And so God gave me this house, not close to my family at all. And it was an isolated wilderness, because He would use my isolated wilderness to build me up. It not only would it build me up, but it was about to turn me into a whole new person. The anointing would be birthed in me. The oil would be activated on my life. And I thought I was getting a house, but God was like, no, this is just your sheltered place, your sheltered wilderness. I'm isolating you so I can build you, teach you, show you the things that you need to know for your new season, and nothing will hold you back. And so now, as I am ending this video, I'm going to end with my letter to God. And it says, Dear God, I used to ask why me, not realizing that pressure created diamonds. Now I ask the right questions. What do you need me to do? And how can I serve? I don't think I realized how spiritual business actually is. Despite every hardship I faced, I'm glad I gave you my yes. I have to read 1 Corinthians 3:13 often to remind myself that during this walk, I'll often be tried by fire, to test the quality of the work you're doing in me and through me. But I know because of this, yes, my children won't know struggle. They'll never taste lack. And the generations after me will know that God was truly with me. Sincerely, your daughter, Michaela. And in ending this video, I'm about to declare a thing. And I declare that Lola's Canvas is not only just a multi-million-dollar hair care brand. Lola's Canvas is a billion-dollar self-care brand. Lola's Canvas, my life has changed, my finances has changed, and Lola's Canvas is a billion-dollar brand. Know that as you declare a thing, so shall it be.